Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ava and Ivy Talk. Today we have a very special guest, a person that debatably started me and Ivy's entire friendship. We have Ben Kenney, number 780 from Beast Games. Everyone,
Welcome, Ben.
welcome Ben.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said everyone. I was like, is there an audience coming?
Bring him out. Bring him out.
Bring out the audience.
It's like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, I honestly don't know why I said that. Anyways, so there's a lot of lore on Mr. Ben Kenney. I met Ben Kenney at the very beginning in Vegas, like towards the end of Vegas though, right? And
Saturday.
Right. And he was technically my original alliance, Gravy Tuesdays, if anyone knows. No one knows except us, but that was my core three in the very beginning. It was also Grant, who unfortunately didn't get to participate in the rest of the games.
Didn't even get to play.
But yeah, so that's how I know Ben. And then Ivy, do you want to say how you met Ben?
Yeah, so me and Ben were next to each other on the platform 780 and 781. And he actually introduced me and Ava in episode 1, like while we were filming. So
yes,
he's the reason for all of this.
I introduced you guys like 7 times.
No, honestly.
Only a few times I was like, I want you guys to become friends. But then you eventually became friends. That's what matters.
Yeah.
But that's literally what started it, though, because I feel like when we did become close, I was like, wait, yeah, you know Ben Kenney, right? Like, you were next to him on the platform.
Yes, right.
Yes.
That's how
Small world.
Yeah, small world.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Small world, man, when you're in a bubble of one city with only 500 people.
Yeah.
Crazy
odds
stuff.
of us all meeting is crazy, guys.
All odds of us all meeting in that city is like small world.
Okay, so just pushing into Beast Games a little bit, guys, Ben only made it to episode 2, unfortunately. It was tragic, but starting in episode 1, is there anything like really specific, like a memory that sticks out to you, either with me or Ivy or just in general, that you want to talk about?
Honestly, a lot of like my best memories were either in the city or in Vegas, like, because that was when you had the most free time and hanging out on the platforms. We were only there for like 6-7 hours a day, and you had to stay on your platforms. But yeah, episode 1, I don't know, there was nothing like crazy. Obviously met Ivy and the people around me, so that was awesome, but there wasn't anything crazy like, yeah, this was awesome. I guess my biggest thing with episode 1 was the block stacking game. It was the most nervous I've ever felt in my life.
Oh
like,
my
legs
gosh.
were shaking. I thought my tower was gonna fall because of it. So that was cool to experience in a way that, like, I don't know. I don't one, I don't want to experience that in real life, but it was cool to experience that in such a low penalty way, where, like, I was nervous enough where it was like blocking my ability to perform anything. So that was cool, I guess, to just like feel those emotions. I don't know, so is the wide range. Also, just like the whole bribe thing, that was kind of like felt like it was like 30 hours long. So me and Ivy kept saying, we're gonna make it to the city. That was our motto, and we eventually did, obviously. But I remember when the bribes going on, and it's getting to like 80,000, 100,000. I remember looking back, and Ava, the people behind you and in front of you were red, and you were with Adam. So like those, like Adam, you guys were in the same row. So Adam is another really, really good friend of mine. He was my bunkmate in the city, and I was like, dude, because I think guys out. I was like, this is GG's. What am I gonna do? Because I didn't really know anyone else, or was not great friends with anyone else. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, this is the worst thing ever. But I didn't want to take the money because I said I wouldn't. So then I was just like, you know what? Like, but that was like, I was on the edge once I saw you guys were out, quote unquote, because I was like, that's it. Game over for me. Like, there's no one else. But when he's like, all right, everyone who fast, start walking to the stage. And I look back and you and I'm walking. I'm like, what? It was like the greatest thing of all time. It was the greatest feeling and I'm so glad, and it just justified even more why I didn't take the money. So it was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that was such a funny moment. I mean, if you would have saw his face, like he was genuinely so surprised when me and
Right?
Adam were
Because
walking up together.
I remember hearing Ben say that you thought Ava was out. Like, I remember you telling me that
Yeah.
because me and Ava met like an hour before that, and then you were like, Ava just got out, and I was like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I
oh,
probably told you. I was like, oh my
yeah,
gosh, this is the worst thing ever. But yeah, the platforms,
uh,
honestly, people need to realize that, well, not need to realize, I guess. This isn't a big deal. But the most fun in Beast games isn't the challenge, it's the in between. Like when we're doing
yeah,
nothing, when we just woke up and hanging out with everyone. So that's why the platforms weren't like that fun because we would just go back to the hotel and just be quarantined. Not really quarantined, but you would just go to your room and, have no phone and not talk to anyone. So that's why it wasn't like my favorite thing. But the city is probably the best experience of my life, even
Yeah.
though I was there for 2 short days. But it was just a vibe.
At least you
Do
made
you
it.
have a
That was the
favorite?
goal.
Yeah, no, I'm grateful I made it to the city, even though I got out the very next challenge, which was the worst
Yeah.
ever.
Did, did you manage to have a favorite like city memory you can tell us about before we talk about episode 2?
That honestly, for my limited time, like yeah, one of the like the better memories was with all of you guys sitting here. We were just I think we stayed up till like 4 or 5 a.m. because I was being tactical. I was sleeping till like 9 p.m. every day. Not really, but probably like
Right.
3 4
You
p.m.
slept a
Because
lot. I would
but
always be
he was
looking for you. I would be like, guys, has anyone seen Ben? Like, please, like, let me know. And you're just sleeping. I would always ask Adam to go check.
because Jimmy Beast,
Jimmy
he would
Beast.
always be like, "Get some rest. You're gonna need it." So I'm thinking like we're gonna be like doing an endurance challenge overnight or something like that. That's why I slept as much as I could, even if I wasn't tired, I was just like, go back to bed, go back to bed. Obviously, in hindsight, I wish I just the sleep didn't matter.
Yeah.
But when you're in the challenge, but yeah, just hanging out with you guys with Karl and Nolan at that like picnic table, staying up till like
Hmm.
4 a.m. that one night, just
Yeah.
chilling. I got
Where this
That's
came
how I got
from.
Ava. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's how I got
Yo.
Ava. I gave Karl my Feastables bar. I was like, yo, I don't know what I said. I was like, can you make it out to like my sister Ava? She's a big fan
Oh
or
my
something
god.
like that. And then I was like, here you go, Ava. And then she's like, so that was fun. Hanging out just like with Adam and Tyler during the day. Yeah, the best part was just hanging out during the day, talking with everyone, just being carefree and like, that's probably what I missed the most. Like the challenges were whatever. It was like actually nerve wracking. But the moments between them in the city were just like so nice. Just like bond with each other, hang out. You didn't care about your bills, your rent, your gas. You didn't care about anything. You were just sitting there eating, doing whatever, just frolicking, getting every need taken care of. That's probably like the closest I'll feel to being a like a king in medieval
Right.
times.
Right, though.
Because like, dude, yeah, we would just wake up and do nothing and just hang out, and then they feed us. And so yeah, that was probably my favorite part, just hanging out with everyone. Really, I didn't have anything like a crazy moment because like, during the challenge it was just bad. Like staying up all night in a sleeping bag on concrete steps. That part wasn't fun. But that's where I got my
Yeah.
signature shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
On the
it
steps.
was
The
during
only
my
time.
challenge too, Ben. I remember when we first watched it at the premiere, your shot comes up like this, and I was all excited because like, oh, I might see myself because it's my challenge, and then it's just you popping up first. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, that's you.
Yeah, maybe that was when you got out. Maybe that's why.
Yeah,
Cuz well, got out in
yeah,
quotations because yeah, you got out for like 4 hours. And so maybe
Yeah.
that's why I was like, this is it. GG's.
yeah,
Ava's gone. And
yeah,
then got reversed,
yeah. The
which
tables
was
turned.
crazy. The
Before
tables
we
turned.
talk about the challenge, I want to go back really quick. I want to list out some of our memories from Vegas because
Yes, Vegas was the most fun for me probably.
yeah, it was really
That was the
fun.
most fun.
And like especially after we were filming,
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
me, Ben and Grant all got stuck together in a hotel room because they, I guess, ran out of hotel rooms. And
Yeah.
then we spent what, 2 or 3 days in Vegas because of the flights. We couldn't book a flight early or something because of the
Yeah,
cyber
we
attack.
spent a good amount of days in Vegas just hanging out, going down. We were right across the street from old Las Vegas Strip, but I forget what it's called. You probably know what it's called.
Oh, wait, now I'm blanking on what it's called. It's something
Yeah.
street, I'm assuming, I think.
Yeah, probably something street.
But yeah, it's like the old strip of Vegas. There's
Yeah,
definitely a
yeah,
name.
yeah. And where now it's just like LED screens over the top, and they
Yeah,
live
yeah,
it, but
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And they have the
I know what you're
indoor
talking
or
about.
like the zip line through the
zip line.
ceiling. Yeah, that was sick.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that was awesome. We did go to the actual strip. That was fun. We met up with Jake Berg. Who were we with? Jake Berg, Ike.
I think that was it.
Oh
Grant.
yeah, and then me and Grant. And
That was so fun.
we were living off the stacks of $1 bills that Beast gave
Oh my
us.
goodness. Yeah, so yeah, we would literally. This is why I don't gamble, because I lost my entire stipend.
Oh my gosh.
Because they would give us like $50 a day, and we would. One time we went to the strip. Actually, a fond memory of mine too on the strip was after when we were with Jake, and I kept. We were playing blackjack, and I kept sitting down, winning some, and then getting back up and watching them play and letting them play, and then sitting down, and then I had the hot hand. I was up like $200 or something just from that strategy of just like letting it breathe a few hands and getting it back down. So that was fun, just walking through the different casinos and then sitting down and playing blackjack. But yeah, even during Vegas, it was just much cooler. I think because it was like the same as the city vibes, but I was there for much longer. I was there for like 5 days or like 4 days. I don't know, where you just wake up, hang out, do whatever you wanted. Then, like you said, that's how we met. We met that Saturday, which is the second to last day, or even the last day, honestly, because we left Sunday morning. So we met Saturday, and we're just talking and hanging out the whole entire time, and it felt like a while. Even though we only knew each other for a day, it felt like we knew each other for
Yeah.
like like the whole thing, just because of how long that day was. We were up for 40 hours. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
and one more favorite memory in Vegas. They were trying to wheel us off to Stinky Pete's,
Oh my gosh.
a hotel in like 40 minutes away in Prin, Nevada, like a crappy hotel. And that's where they weren't telling us where the bus was going. We kept asking, and I was like, "We're not going there." So then me, Ava, and Grant made a point to not get on the bus until we were able to find something, and then we found something. Fortunately, thanks to Harrison for driving us in the
Oh my
Plaza
God,
Hotel, which was actually a really nice hotel, and it had its own casino that you can hang out at and away from the ship. So that was that. I thought that was fun. How we just had like boycotted going on the thing, and they were like gaslighting us. It's like, this is the last bus. If
Yeah,
you
oh
don't get on
my
this bus,
God.
we can't guarantee your
Oh my
stay.
gosh.
I'm like, I was like, you can't guarantee my stay. That doesn't even make sense. But we held strong, and it paid off.
Yeah, we literally refused to go. And then we arrived to the plaza, and remember we got the last room. We actually got the suite room, but we got the last
Yeah,
room,
it was
and then
nice.
Harrison and Liz didn't get a room.
Yeah, we got the last room, and yeah, the suite room was nice because it was basically two rooms. Like,
Mhm.
it was like, me and Grant slept on the like main hotel side, and you slept on like the what is it called?
Like a
Oh, the
living
pull
room
out food.
sign. Yeah.
Yeah, so it worked out like super well because it's basically like we were in two rooms, but then I could just knock and be like, "Hey neighbor," like in our room. So that was super cool.
Yeah.
Just like hanging out and doing stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Good memories, good memories.
I just remembered something. Ben, tell me if you remember this. Me and Ben did meet in Vegas, but I forgot about it
Oh, me
until
too.
we were like in the city, and then I was like, "That was you." We like
Yes.
it was after the flag challenge. I was with my friend Bryce, and we were just standing there
Yeah.
with our flags, and Ben just came up and just started singing, and I was like, "Who is this dude? What was happening in that situation?"
So I'll tell you. So Bryce, I used to be a musician, like an artist, and we were part of like the same program. He got signed to like this label, and then we were part of like the same program. It was called the Quadio. It didn't work out, but he got signed to the Quadio label, and I was like in an artist management class in the Quadio label, and then he would talk about Bryce, like the guy, the head of Quadio or whatever. So then I would look up his things, and listen to them. And then this is like 5 years ago. I never thought much of it. And then I saw him. And I'm like, wait a second, is this the guy from Claudio? And that's why I sang one of the songs. I was like, I didn't want to make you sad. And he was like,
Right.
what? And
That's so
that's where I didn't. So
yeah.
here's the thing, I didn't even know it was you next to him until
Yeah.
till Beast Games, when you started hanging out with him more. I was like, oh, and because we had similar numbers, so you got the flag the same time as me. So I was like, oh, okay, so
Right.
that was probably but that was funny. And then after it, I started listening to his music a lot more, and he became my #1 artist of the
Oh,
year.
wow.
And it was
That's
funny.
awesome.
So we all went to a bar after the premiere in LA, and
Yeah.
I knew he was the #1 artist, and I took a video with him. I was like,
That's
this guy's my #1 artist. It was like the craziest thing, but it's because I just listened to his I don't really listen to music at all anymore, but I listened to his album in entirety, and I guess that was enough to make him my #1. So I thought it was super cool with that. But yeah, the bar was fun too. That was
Yeah.
fun,
that's like
dude.
yeah,
The
wait, are
premiere
we
was
gonna
fun.
talk about that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
the
I
premiere.
completely forgot, like, the
Oh
premiere.
my gosh.
We have a lot of mememories from that.
Oh
We
yeah, we can
do.
talk about the premiere. But have you talked about you getting into the celebrity one yet?
I don't know if we've talked about it on here. Have we? I don't know. But yeah, so the premiere, Ben
Um,
got to meet Big Justice.
yeah.
Woo! Yeah. So first
Tell
off,
the tale.
that was awesome just to go to premiere. I'm so glad I went. We all got Airbnb with all the members, and it was just fun to finally like close the chapter on the Beast Games in a way where we could all reflect and have fun and one last time. And it was super fun experience. I'm so glad I was able to go. But the last day, so there's our premiere was like a few days later, but then there's like a drone show, but then Mr. Beast was having a celebrity premiere for celebrities, like near where we were, and Ivy was trying to get in. Props to you, Ivy, trying to get in, because I don't think I would have
Thanks.
tried to get in if you did. But Ivy tries to get in, and is like, I don't, should I? And then she goes in and gets in. So then we're all just sitting there. I'm like, oh my goodness, she just got in. Like, is this doable? Because I like pushing boundaries and pushing buttons, but I'm also like, you know, I don't want to get rejected. So like, I felt like
Right.
I was just like too scared. I'm not that type of person to just like have the confidence. Like, no, I deserve to be here, even though I'm lying. Like, that's just not me. So if they said you can't be here, I would have got foiled. So, but I started like thinking like, wait, Ivy's in. I gotta see if I can get in. So then I went in. Fortunately, Harrison was already in. He already did the
Yeah.
whole thing previously. He actually went before the premiere. He got to see the premiere in person. And I saw him in the lobby, and I had a blue wristband, which is what Jimmy gave out to people. It was a different blue wristband, but I was just walking with Harrison, confident. Showed the guy my wristband. Got into the premiere. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see you because I think I came in
Yeah.
to look for you. That's what it was.
And I
Yeah.
was yeah,
I
we were like leaving,
Oh,
going
that's
leaving.
what it was. That's why I went in. I was like, I had to go look for Ivy to get her out.
Because I told you
And
to go look for her because her phone
yeah,
died, and
Mhm.
our rides were coming. Like, people were pulling up their carts, and Ivy was nowhere to be found. So then Ben goes in to try to find her, but then
so
she
then
comes
I go
out,
in.
and he goes in.
Yeah.
Yes, don't find Ivy. My phone dies. So I'm like,
So
oh
good.
my goodness. And I'm just like so like torn because I'm like when is the next time I'm ever gonna be at a celebrity premiere ever? But also like
Yeah.
I don't want to hold my friends up. So I was there probably for like, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes, something like that. And I had to, fortunately, someone had a charger, which was awesome. So I was able to charge my phone, and then, got the video of Big Justice, got to talk to everyone, got to just dance in the premiere, like, ooh, ooh, like I'm here, let's go. It was just really cool. A lot of like other contestants were there. Actually, that's where I got my photo with Jimmy that I posted, and I got to talk to him one last time, which is super cool. To just in that setting where no one's like
Mhm.
hounding him, just to have like a genuine one-on-one conversation. So that was pretty awesome, and I got to meet Big Justice. There was like, and not anyone crazy there that like I would have been like, oh, I gotta meet this guy. You know, it was like Young Gravy and Sketch. Those were like
Right.
at least at that point. I'm sure some people left, but then I tried my phone and I wake up to raging texts. Not wake up from Ava like, "Get in the car. We are leaving right now." Like, Ava, I'm sorry, my phone was dead. I didn't know. So then after I saw those texts, I was like, okay, like although this is fun, I don't want to keep my friends waiting. So then I went to the car and David was there out front, and and with Kendra, and they were thinking about going back in. I was like, we should try it, but it didn't happen. But it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah,
Safe to say.
Yeah.
that was a
You have the
crazy
memories.
bro. Because I felt bad making David wait for Ben, and I left with Dimitri and Ivy.
Mhm.
You were with me, right? Yeah. So to get
Yeah,
the
us
other
and
car.
Patrick.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
Patrick, and then we can't get into the parking garage, so we're freaking out
Oh,
because they
yeah.
closed it.
Yeah.
So we're running around like, how can we get in? How can we get in? I see a door like fling open to the building that the parking garage is attached to. I'm like, wait, like please hold the door. And thank God we got in. And then we tried to pull out, and the card machine wasn't working, so you had to pay
Oh,
cash.
yeah.
And we were like, does anyone have cash? So that was just a crazy like last moment of the premiere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Both
a
of your
wild
phone
night.
die. Both your phones die. Y'all meet all these famous people, and then we get locked out from our car.
No,
So
that was so fun. Like I'm so glad I was able to at least try it. I think
Yeah.
Ivy, you gave me the courage because it was
Good. I'm
proven. I
glad.
didn't want to be the guy that failed, so
Right. Which
it
I
was
feel like I need to
proven to work.
clarify. I feel like I need to clarify I didn't do anything crazy. I just literally walked in
Oh
and I
yeah, that's
happened
all
to
you
have
had
a
to
blue
do.
yeah,
wristband. So,
Yeah, that's why. That was the cheat code. It was like
yeah.
you just showed the blue wristband, but then the security guard started catching on to it, so they started
Yeah.
actively checking them.
mhm.
So I
Yeah, they
wasn't there
did.
before then, but it was super. But like, it wasn't even a bad thing either. Jimmy was super cool. He's like, when I was talking, he's like, oh, there's a bunch of other contestants too, because he knows Harry, obviously, the $1 million turn down man. So
Yeah.
I was with Harry talking to him, and he's like, oh, there's a bunch of contestants here too. Thanks for coming. So it wasn't like anything nefarious where, but it
Right.
was like he was super chill about it, of us being in there.
Yeah.
Definitely core memory. Core memory.
For real.
All right, so let's move the conversation to the bad memories. Let's cover your elimination. You were on floor 2. Less is more. What are the
Worst
highlights
floor
or
ever.
lowlights of the floor?
Dude, just honestly lowlights. I mean, you can watch back our thing. Our team, like, it makes sense why Harrison's team won because our team was so unorganized. If you watch back the video, it's just like everyone's just like yelling at each other and no one's has a solution to anything. So I can see where they were much more organized, like who wants to go, and then that build up the emotion. So people would be like, do it. Us, we were like, what's happening? And then Riley, shout out Riley Walter. I got to meet her I never met her, but on the platform she was about to self eliminate and she did it. And so I got to meet her. Super cool when she was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. That's my other appearance when I'm like hugging her goodbye. But yeah, it was just one, the worst challenge to do. Two, just super our team, which like I can't me saying this, I can't fault them. We're all in such a pressure situation that second that we have no reason no plan for. So it's just like it makes sense. How do you get 50 people within 30 minutes to agree who's going to eliminate? So I understand like the chaos, but watching it back, I was like, wow, we really were not like half the time they were just screaming, "Don't go in the phone booth." So, but me being me, I just kind of left it like the reason I didn't switch either. I left it up to just like chance. I just sat there and just like if enough people get eliminated, enough people will get eliminated. I'm not gonna tell people to get eliminated. I'm not going to force people to get eliminated. Whatever happens, happens. So that was my mentality. It was unfortunate how it played out, obviously, but we weren't even that close. It was just another thing our team messed up on was they were like, "Do not leave until the last second," because of the whole camera thing. They could see the other side. But now, looking back, hindsight, like I would have just had anyone that wanted to leave right away, because they wouldn't have been able to tell. There's so many people, and because the reason we lost is someone who was supposed to leave didn't end up leaving. So if they ended up leaving when they said they were going to leave, like it'd be a different story, and I might still be in there. But like I said, and we had 2 other people leave last second. So like we only had one person up until like 5 seconds left. So I thought it was like GG's, and then there's like a little bit of a chance. But then yeah, the person that also said they were gonna leave wasn't able to. So at the last second, so that's why I was like, like we should just had people leave when they wanted to. So that was unfortunate. But like I said, I it is what it is. I left it up to chance, and unfortunately, it wasn't on my side. And my whole thing, I always say, is if I switch to a token, and my floor 2 ended up winning, and then the one I switched to ended up losing, I would regret it way more. It didn't turn out this way, but I would regret it so much if that were the case. So that's why I stuck with my token, because it was just like at the end of the day, we had no idea what's happened. We had a good group of people on our squad, and it was just like one of those things where I just gotta trust that we'll be able to move on. But obviously, that's not how the cookie crumbled. Turns out any number that I would have switched to would have moved on, but you don't know that's gonna happen. So if I switched to like your floor, Ava, and then we both got out, and then my floor moved on, I don't know how I would have lived with that
Right.
fact. The fact that I got out because it was time for me to get out, it gives me a little more comfort in my heart.
No, floor 2, less is more was definitely the worst one to get. Like by
Oh,
So
far,
bad.
absolutely.
by far.
I think one of the most gut-wrenching moments I had in the whole show was when, because all of us were put in dorms while your floor was competing, and when we
Oh
came
yeah.
out, and then we didn't know what the challenge was, but they had us all gathered at the front. And I remember it was you and my friend Brennan. Y'all were like standing right next to each other on the balcony, and you were saying something to like our group, and you were like, "Are like, do we have more people? Do they?" And we didn't know what the challenge was. And so I was like, I remember, like, I don't know if you heard me or whoever, but I was like, yeah, you guys have more. Like, thinking that's a good thing. And so I was like, yeah, you're good. You have more. You have more. And then Jimmy said they were seeing who could have the most people leave. And my stomach, like, dropped. And then, like, your
Yeah.
thing turned red. And I was like, that was so. Because I don't know why they made us watch, too. Like, that was
Yeah.
so brutal.
They didn't even
Like,
let
for
us
what?
really like say goodbye either, which kind of sucked.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I want to talk about. One of the I don't know, the squid people. I don't know the
Guard.
I
I
don't
guess.
whatever they're called.
The
The
guard.
guys with the masks, or girls with the mask. But I was leaving the thing, saying bye to Ava and Adam, and on the steps, and then they're like, "You gotta keep going, keep moving." And I was like, I kind of snapped, and I was like, dude, this has been my life for the past 2 weeks. How and I'm never going to see these people again. How do you expect me to move on? And then they're like, you just gotta go. So then I didn't even get to really say bye. Yeah, it was probably
Yeah.
like 2 seconds I got to say bye, and then I never saw you guys ever again.
And you
Till
looked
now.
so sad. I just remember you looked so sad.
Dude, I was sad. This is like once in a lifetime
Yeah.
opportunity. It was just like
Yeah.
it was it was just like, making it to the island would have been awesome. I was just there for the vibes and having
Yeah.
fun. Like the money, if it came, it came, but that wasn't my objective. It was literally just like enjoying my time on Beast Games. And I did enjoy it I made it farther than most people. It's
Yeah, I
like
mean,
25%.
yeah.
So with a grain of salt, obviously, but it just kills me because I at least would have liked to make it past Tower because you guys then got a rest day and then the Red Cube challenge. So that would have been nice to have 2 more days in the city, even if I got eliminated during the Red Cube. I just felt like I had not enough time to really just hang out.
Yeah.
It was the most fun part. The
Yeah.
city.
Right.
No, I agree. We were all there for the vibes, honestly. I feel like none of us would have ever taken a bribe
Yeah,
if we had the
definitely not.
opportunity. I guess it's really what you go in for if you're in there for the money or the vibes. So
Yeah.
um,
We were there for the 5 strictly. I wanted my Beast Bucks later.
hey, Beast
Yeah.
Bucks. Well, that covers your Beast Games journey. Is there anything else you want to talk about relating to Beast Games before we kind of move on to like your real life, essentially?
Shout out Jimmy and the gang. Best
Yeah.
experience of my life. I'd love to come back, and if not, thank you. It was genuinely the greatest of times. I mean, I'm getting married. Both of these gals are coming to my wedding. I
Yeah,
think.
Yeah.
we are.
Okay. So yeah, that was really what Beast Games was to me. Just meeting people and just hanging out and new people and making like lifelong friend. So yeah, that's all I'll say. It was, I can't recommend enough if you're able to do something like that to do it, because it was truly just kind of life changing, and it really inspired me, honestly, because I see someone like Carl Jacobs and talking to him till 4 a.m. and I'm like, this dude's life is so sick.
Hmm.
He just gets to have fun and gets paid millions of dollars. And then I remember that kind of like turned the kind of switch in me, like how powerful the content creator is in regards to just like, when you make it. Obviously, it's a real grind, but that inspired me to start making videos for disc golf, my own lane, and and stuff like that. Just how much opportunities and freedom there is from being kind of like a content creator full time, and that really inspired me. Just like I remember just seeing Karl, like this guy's like he's hanging out with us right now, but this is his life every day, just like hanging out and making content, and like so he's like literally in B City 24/7. like like he's just
Yeah.
he's just making content whenever needed and just hanging out. I said that like 7 times, hanging out. But yeah, so that definitely lit kind of like a fire under me, where it's just like, and I didn't really post anything because I'm just been so busy with my disc golf exos. But actually, I could do an exclusive on this podcast later. But now this year I'm finally in a position where the expos went well and I can start focusing on content, and kind of like seeing what that avenue has for me. Even though I sort of already am like a content creator, but like I have my own podcast in disc golf. But the YouTube side, I probably post like 3 to 5 videos a year, which is not enough. So I want to start cracking down.
That's awesome. I had very similar experience. As you can see here, me and Ivy are creating content, and most of that inspiration came from Beast Games. And like
Yeah.
another side note relating to Adam, Ben, like he inspired me so much. Just like having
Dude's so
conversations
cool.
with him. If you don't know Adam, he's an ultra runner. Like this man is crazy. His endurance is insane. He's traveled the world. He's like walked across a country or something, like something crazy. He's been on
Yeah,
TV
no,
before.
like he's ran
Wow.
across. He's won The Price is Right. He's won a survival reality show where it's like you had to last 60 days in the wilderness, and like I'd put him up there as one of the most handsome men in Beast Games. It's him and Jeff. I mean, it'd be a tough battle,
Yeah.
like to vote between the two. Maybe Jeff because he won the 10 mil, but dude, without that bias, I don't know. Like those guys are handsome. Let me just say that. But yeah, he ran across America once, tried to beat the record, and then he ran across like the United Kingdom and might have broken the record.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's an ultra
Okay.
marathon runner, just super cool guy. And he was literally the first person I ever. Well, Grant was actually in the elevator, but he was no. So it was Grant, and then I never talked to Grant until at in the thing. But then Adam, when we were all in like the pre-show kind of cubicles before we got to go to the stadium, I was talking to Adam. He was like one of the first people I approached because he looked cool and super cool guy. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was just it was an inspiring moment. Just Beast Games. It was just like, you know
Mhm.
what, like I can do this. Like I'm not gonna be Mr. Beast, but in my own lane,
Right.
I can make my own content, and it inspired me to do so. And now I finally have the opportunity and the means to start kind of want to create, and I'm feeling this yearning more and more. Last year I wanted to. It was just, I had a lot on my plate. Editing is the worst, but now I'm feeling like I bought myself a DJI Osmo Pocket. The things in Beast Games where you were
Nah, I
Oh
want one of those
yeah.
so bad.
dude, because like on the disc golf course, my biggest thing was like I hated lugging around the camera and setting up every shot. It took like 2 more hours than it needed to be. But with this, I'm just feeling like a new inspiration because I can just set it down, talk, throw my shot, set it down, and it takes the same amount of time as if I didn't have a camera. So that was like a game changer for
Okay.
me, where it was just like, okay, like I'm enjoying doing this now. Because
Mhm.
before it would just be like I'd throw a shot and then it would take me 5 minutes to bring the camera, set it up, and then go like across the thing and putt. And it was just like, and then having to edit like 4 hours after working on expos all day. But now that my expo's over, I'm feeling the
Yeah.
inspiration.
You have that free time. Yeah, let's talk about your expos real quick and kind of just like how you basically built your own business at what, 26, right? You're 26.
Yes, I'm 26. So it's so funny. I'm wearing both my. This is actually a coincidence. I'm wearing both my businesses. This
Oh
is just
wow.
like what I
No
wore to the
promo.
hospital early this morning. So it wasn't anything planned. Nothing crazy. My fiance just had tests.
Okay.
So, but yeah. So I started this business with my father right after college. I knew I didn't want to. It's so funny because today I had to wake up at like 7:30 a.m. to bring my fiance to the hospital. And I'm like, I'm so glad I do not work a 9 to 5, and I was able to like be blessed enough to do what I do because like I was like I couldn't do this every day, waking up and then going somewhere and then like having to work. Cause it also didn't help that I've been traveling RV and only got back like 2 days ago and have probably got 4 hours of sleep combined. That didn't help, so I was definitely feeling fatigued. But anyway, sorry, tangent. Ben's Tackle Shack started that with my dad junior year of college when COVID hit. I wasn't in classes and I was basically gonna graduate the next semester. So we started that. I wanted to own my own business, always have. It was that was like the clear direction for me. The reason we started Ben's Tackle Shack, which is a fishing and tackle store, is because my dad ran fishing expos as a full time job, like his own, for 10 years of our lives, or I don't know, might have been 8. And COVID hit, obviously everything shut down. So there goes our family income. There goes our house, our
Oh my
car,
god.
everything.
Stop. That's
Ten.
funny.
If we didn't start Tackle Shack. But basically that was like that was it. So it was kind of like a blessing in disguise. We started the Tackle Shack, but then like a year after doing the shack, I started to play disc golf. Instantly, the first time I went out, I fell in love with it. Wow, I'm gonna give you guys my whole story. I've said this a few times, so if you've already heard this, I'm sorry. It's like that Lady Gaga clip where she says like the 50 times in different interviews, there can be one person in the room out of 1,000, and that one person believes in you, or something like that. But so then I started playing disc golf a lot, and I wanted to, I'm a businessman. I was like, okay, like I love this. I wanted to be a pro. I wanted to play. So then months down the line, I'm working at Vans. So I used to do kind of the seasonal job every December just to make extra money because at the time Ben Stacker Shack was not making any money. It was, but you had to reinvest everything in the first 3 years of so like we weren't getting paid. So it was basically like I was working for free. So I had to get some extra money for the holidays. So I did like UPS 1 year during COVID, and the next year I worked at Vans. And working at Vans, I started driving. It was like 40 minutes away. So I started my friend from back in the day, Matt Graham, which is even crazier. Stay with me because this is like just like the most mind blowing thing and why I feel so blessed. So 2015 is when I first like picked up a disc golf disc, and I played it maybe like 10 times, 10, 15 times between 2015 and 2017, nothing crazy. But one of the first times I played disc golf was in 2015 probably, and it's random doubles, which means you and a partner, it's a league. 60 people show up. You get randomly paired with a partner, and then you try and shoot the best score by shooting from your best shot. For golf, it's like best shot scrambles, whatever. And I randomly got partnered with this guy named Matt Graham. First time ever going to a league ever. He was super cool. He was a youth pastor, and he invited me to his youth group. So I was terrible. He was probably like hated that he postparted me because we lost badly, like because it was so bad. But then I started going to his youth group, and it was really fun, and I got to meet a lot of friends. And I went there for like a summer. I think that year I outaged the youth group or something like that, so I wasn't able to go back. So then I started just like going to my regular church again, and went to high school, went to college, and then now we're back at Vans. So then Matt Graham, like the same guy I randomly got partnered with all that year for the first time, starts a podcast, a disc golf podcast, and it's pretty successful. Like he's getting like 5 to 10. This is during COVID. COVID was booming. Now we're averaging probably like I don't know 6 to 7 thousand listeners per episode across all platforms. But at the time, like his podcast was like the podcast. Like some episodes that got over 100,000. Those are few and far between, but you could expect 5 to 10. And I'm listening to it. I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then he mentions yeah, guys, like this is getting a lot, really hectic. I might need like an intern soon to start managing the buttons. And me being me, I was like, "Hey, Matt, do you remember me? I'd love to help you. I heard you say this on the show. I'd love to help you out if I can in any way. I'll do it for free, 100% for free. I don't care." And I gave him my resume. I showed him that I've done a podcast before. Actually, if you look up, I've done one of my favorite podcasts. I interviewed the bassist of Incubus, and his name's also Ben Kenney. So go check
What
that out. It's on
the?
the internet somewhere. So that was cool. But I showed him my resume. Like I showed him that I edit videos. He's like, "Yeah, come over. Let's try it out." So it was just crazy that I already had the foot in the door with him, like because he knew of me. Just because that random time I got like, if I didn't get paired, the chance of me getting paired that day, and if I didn't get paired, I don't know if any of this would have happened because he invited me to. Like I don't think I would have been to his youth group and became friends with him. And then fast forward 9, 8 years, this opportunity, he takes me over to the podcast studio and, starts teaching me things. And then slowly I keep coming back week after week, week after week. Now I have a microphone. Now I have a webcam. And now they're calling me Intern Ben. And now I'm speaking on the podcast. And that was my first big break in disc golf. And it was so shout out. I always give Matt flowers. Such a good guy. So that was awesome. And I got my first big break where people are now starting to recognize me on the course. Are you intern Ben? And it's like, yes. Like what? And that started to feel really good. And then doing the podcast and stuff like that, which I'm still on. It's called Stagger Stance. You can look it up. We go live every Monday, and it's still an awesome thing. And very grateful that I'm still able to do it. But then my dad, the Expo started up again, and I'm in love with disc golf. I'm playing every day. Like so, I used to work at the shack 12 hours, but then the next day had to have off. That'd be my dad's schedule because we were the only employees at the time. So I'd play like 3 rounds a day or something like crazy like that, where I would just like on my off days I'd play and I would be nonstop playing and I started following the scene. I started following these disc golfers and I started, getting really involved. And I realized I look up, I remember so vividly. I think it was like October, September of 20, no, of 21, I think. Sorry. Cuz I'm trying to think. Yeah, yeah. Of 21, October, September, and I'm realizing I look up disc golf expos or disc golf conventions. It might even I forget honestly when I started, but then I realized like, holy crap, there's no disc golf conventions in disc golf, like zero,
Mm.
and that was just like a deep singing gut or feeling in my gut because I realized like I have to do this. It was like the scariest thing ever because it's just one of those things. It's like how you felt in Beast Games. Like you gotta take the opportunity. It was like one of the scariest things ever because it's like I'd be stupid not to go for this. I found a market that has not been touched at all, and I have my dad who's done it. So then I work on it for a full year, and then March 2023, do the first disc golf expo ever, and it was super small. We probably like had around 1,000 people show up, which by the way was huge. I didn't know how many people were actually going to show up. I didn't do online sales. Pretty dumb of me at that point, but I had like one small room full of maybe like 15, 20 vendors, but because there was nothing like it ever, like the demand was there and it was apparent. And I have a picture of me like in the mirror the night before, just like so like somber and like on not sad, but like could be as sad because I was like, there could be zero. I have these vendors that paid me money to be here, and there could be zero people that show up tomorrow, and I had no idea what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
Fortunately, first year, there was a line of like 150 people before doors even opened, which was like, I've never felt more pure elation. I remember doing a genuine fist bump. I was like, yes! like it was like the best feeling in the world
Yeah.
because it was my first time like trying it. Now I have lines of 600 people lining up for opening day, but it just
Wow.
doesn't feel the same because it's just I don't know. It's a weird phenomenon. Like when you take that big of a gamble and it pays off. Now that I know it's proven, it's like I guess it's because it's expected now. Like there's gonna be people in line, and waiting in line. So, but I'll never forget that moment. So then that's how that started. So then slowly, year two, I did the expo, and then so 2024. And in 2024, I was like, there's enough demand to do a second one. So I call up people where are the best communities, and I land on Dallas. So 2024, it used to be called Northeast Disc Golf Expo. 2024, I rebrand everything. I called the one in the East Coast, Massachusetts, Disc East, and then I start a new one in Texas, Dallas, called Disc South. And it's like I started all over again. The scared, I had no idea who was going to show up, what was going to happen. I was a little more confident because now that I've proven the expos, at first it was so hard to get the major manufacturers and brands there because they're like, prove it to us and then we'll come. And then I proved it. So then Disc South was going to be already easier because I had that trust that this was worth it to a lot of companies. So it was a lot easier to get companies there. I think we had the same amount of companies at the inaugural year of Disc South as Disc East this year, which was super cool. So I felt confident there, but still, I didn't know like who was going to show up and if they were going to show up. Fortunately, I had pre-sale tickets this time around, so I kind of had a good idea. I was feeling good, but still, you just never know what's going to happen. So I'm planning that. It's so funny. This year, around like exactly 1 year ago, I was touring the venue that we just held Disc South at and writing the check for the deposit. So I was working on it for like a year. And then this year, which is like a huge blessing, where Disc East, there was no snow and it was incredible. And we had some of the biggest pros and brands in the game. And then literally 10 days ago was Disc South, the first ever. Second biggest risk of my life. First one being the Northeast Disc Golf. And this one, like, obviously, you never know how it's going to go. And it was successful. And people were very excited. And we had over 1,500 attendees for a first year show. That's like incredible. For reference, I think we have like 2,400 at Disc East this past year, but that's because it's, people come back and it keeps growing. For a first year show, we had over 1,500, and it was just absolutely electric. And I know that was like kind of a long long story of how I got into it, but yeah, it's just crazy how things work in your life where you don't realize how it's all gonna come into play. And like Matt giving me that chance, gave me the opportunity to be sort of like a bottom tier of the industry, but I at least was sort of in the industry where I can prove to people like, or like get the word out on our podcast, which helped the first year. And then now that the Expo guy, they call me Mr. Expo. At least the Finnish guys call me Mr. Expo. Now that I have that and have proven myself to be, running the expos, now it's even easier to kind of like get people to buy in because now I have proof and data like, this is why you need to come. And that's kind of how it all happened. But it's just crazy how like me picking that random card to pair with Matt has led to where I'm at right now. And exclusive, this is what I wanted to get to. So I bought an RV, one to go to Disc South. I stayed there for a month in Texas to like get everything prepared. I couldn't have fail. I have an RV now because, and you guys met this guy. We went live on your TikTok. I'm going to be following the tour with Gannon for #1 disc golfer in the world, and I'm going to be being his videographer and editor and making content for him. So it these opportunities just like I said, I feel super blessed, but it's just crazy how like one thing leads to another, and now I'm going to be traveling the world doing what I love and making a living off of it.
Yeah,
So, super
absolutely.
cool.
And that's why you have to take risks. And that's, dude, I love how you gave the whole story because it is inspiring, especially for anyone else watching who would like to build their own business. You make people realize that it's
How to
possible.
start.
Yeah, you just have to
Yeah.
do it. You like have to push yourself. And you found your niche. You found a niche industry. You found something they don't have, and here you are now. So props to you. It's really awesome. And
For real.
I know you have a creative mind too. You used to produce music. Maybe we'll get a song in the future. I don't know. Will we?
I know. Maybe I've thought about making like I have a few demos. Maybe I'll make an Eva and Ivy theme song. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I've thought about it, but I'm just so busy in a good way. Like it's just crazy to think that this is my life doing what I love.
Right.
in disc golf, and that's when I'm talking about when Karl inspires me. Like I found a niche, and obviously it's a little easier to get into the disc golf niche and grow in it because there's not as much competition, but there's also a cap. You're not going to be the next Ninja or Sketch. You can be disc golf famous, but to the world that's like F list celebrity. But that's what I like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I
Mhm.
love about it. It's just such an awesome community, and I just love that I'm able to grow in it and be able to do this for a living and still live a fulfilling life. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just hard to put into
Yeah.
words how crazy things are
Mhm.
happening, and it all started just like I said, that one card, and it has all led to this. And now that I'm going on the tour, it's like kind of surreal to, and there's been a bunch of other things like where I've been like super blessed and opportunities throughout the things, but those are like the major ones, like the podcast and the expos, and then
Your
now we get to
fiance.
yes, I meant like
No,
I'm
I
saying
know what you
there's a
mean.
lot more chapters in that story, that helped me get to where I am. But yes, my fiance,
Right.
shout out, big part of it
Yeah.
as well.
Okay, so I want to point this out real quick before we start wrapping things up. I don't know if you guys realize, but Ben, you're getting married a month from today, and we're all going to be
Oh,
reunited a month from today.
I actually didn't realize that until you just said that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah,
So
I'm getting married a month from today, and you guys will be there.
I'm so
The
excited.
soul Grant.
So
It's
pumped.
gonna be the best day ever.
Yeah.
I'm excited too.
Dude, guys,
And we're
Grant
getting a dog.
Grant is one of his groomsmen, and they actually met in Beast Games, and then Ben made him a groomsman. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Literally, he was just like, "You want to put me in the tux? Just say it one day." Or I was like, "All right, bet."
All right.
Like, all
Yeah.
right, I'll put you in the tux. And so yeah, so Grant's gonna be one of my 7 groomsmen.
My God.
So
Oh my
it's
God.
gonna be a
It's gonna
great
be
time.
awesome.
But yeah, I'll wrap up with this. Like Ava was saying, like the things I'm saying I'm very grateful for, and I think everyone here, if you have a passion and a dream and a goal, it's achievable. You just have to try. Like everyone sees my successes, but no one sees how many times I've also lost. I failed summer school in math, and I had to go to summer school, and people would take videos like Ben Kenney in summer school and like post it. Not like in a mean bully way, but sort of like a kind of facetious, like this is crazy. Or like I had a long mowing business that failed. Or I got fired in college from being a lifeguard because of some just like thing that wasn't even my fault, and stuff like that. And but also failure. A year into Ben's Tackle Shack, we get kicked out of our store. The people that we were renting from just randomly start getting kind of just like aggressive towards us and kick us out. And we're like, holy crap, what do we do? There's like, this is over. Like, Ben's Tackle Shack is over. Until my mom has a patient of a guy in town who's a construction worker, and his brother owns a complex, and one of the units is a burnt down laundromat that has been sitting there. And my mom asks, hey, are you gonna do anything with that? Are you able to renovate it? And they're like, no, 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 no. Comes in again. Hey, we're still looking for Ben's Tackle Shack, a place to do business. And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll let you guys rent for us. They renovated the whole thing, and that's 2 minutes down the road for me. And the fact that I have a business in the town that I grew up and same with my dad that he's been in forever, is just like the most gratifying thing ever. The reason I say that is because at the time when we got kicked out, it seemed like the worst thing ever. Like it was over. But like it just worked out that these things happen where like the guy, we were able to move into that laundromat, and we've been there for 4 years now, and it's been the best decision. Our business has never been doing better. We're a staple in the community, which has been incredible, and it's been such a fulfilling and gratifying thing that would never have happened if we didn't get kicked out. It seemed like at the end of the world, that was it. So wrapping it all together, I know that was a lot. Oh, I failed in my music. That's another thing where I failed as a musician. But find something you were passionate in and just go for it. It's so worth it to not work a job that you hate. And even if you work that job that you hate for 5 years just to grow the thing that you are passionate about, go for it, because it is so worth it and fulfilling and gratifying, and you can do it. You just have to keep trying. You just have to keep having at bats. I probably have a 300% batting average when it comes to successes, but the things I have been successful at have changed my life for good, such as the expos and disc golf and stuff like that. It's because I found my lane. I found my niche
Mm-hmm.
that I'm in love with. And that's what I want to encourage everyone listening to this, to find it, what you love, and just go after it. It's going to take a while. This has been like 7 years in the making of me getting to the point where I'm at. And, there was a lot of days of waking up at 6 a.m., working 12 hours, and then having to go back at 6 a.m. and being exhausted and like not enjoying it. But it all pays off. So I just wanted to encourage everyone listen, and I'll give you guys your kudos. You guys starting a podcast. That's what I'm talking about. You'll never fail if you keep going. I mean, that's not true, but you guys have a good enough product that 10 years from now, if you keep releasing these things, it's eventually going to happen. You just got to be consistent, and that's the biggest thing. So be consistent, find something you're passionate at, and really be passionate. That's one more thing I want to say. Really be passionate. I thought I was passionate about music, and I was like, oh, I want the fame, I want the everything. Until I found disc golf, I realized I'm not really passionate about music, because all I want to do is think about disc golf and do disc golf. So find something you're passionate about, like really truly passionate about, and go after it. And even if it doesn't become a full-time job, still keep trying, because it's worth it. Just be disciplined. I believe in you. Go out there, start that business, start that streaming career, start that podcast. It's so easy. It's just hard work and consistency. That's what get you there. You cannot expect to get overnight success. Everything you start, think 5 years from now is finally when it will be successful. And then that's when you'll start becoming, because you're not thinking about the success, like, oh, it's not working out. No, keep going. Even if it's not working out, keep thinking 5 years from now it's going to be. Eventually it will be, because you're awesome.
Wow. Look at this inspiring man right here. Ben Kenney, everyone. The Ben Kenney. I agree. All you have to do is start. And like with me and
Just start.
Ivy, we're in the experimental stages right now. We just started. We're finding out what we really want to talk about, what we really want to do, and we're doing it for fun. And that's like the most important part. And it's fun to do. It's fun to
Exactly.
make. So yeah, I completely agree.
And that's a good point. Enjoy the journey. Like, yes, I want to be a millionaire one day. And yes, it would be nice to be a millionaire now. But I've heard so many times people like who are rich and successful would trade it all away just to be in the moment they are now, being young. So enjoy this journey of you being hungry. Enjoy what's going on. Don't think like, oh, like I'll only be happy once I have this money and I'm just gonna keep grinding till then. Enjoy what's going on, because it's gonna fly like that. And if you're not enjoying it, then it's just gonna be an unfortunate realization. So that's my other biggest advice. Like, I'm thoroughly enjoying just like living this disc golf video game that is also real life, of just like, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, like trying things out, and kind of just you just gotta enjoy it. Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Enjoy the journey. We can start closing things out here. The last thing I want to do, I guess, is roll out the red carpet to you, Ben. Shout out all your socials, any upcoming projects.
Yeah, shout out. So you can follow my Disc Golf Expos Instagram at Disc Golf Expos, or discgolfexpos.com if you want to check out what I'm doing there. You can listen to my podcast, Disc Golf, if you're into it. It's called Stagger Stance. I also have another one called Funzy that I just started this year. That's a little smaller, but it's growing, and we're having fun with it. It's more of like a creative kind of like my baby podcast. Also follow Gannon Burr. I'll be filming and editing for him all summer long on the tour. And follow me on Instagram at Ben Kenney's. Follow me on YouTube at Benjamin Kenney. And this is if you like disc golf. You can follow me on Instagram if you don't like disc golf, but everything I just said, if you don't like disc golf, you're not gonna like anything I just said. But if you do, check it out because that's literally all it's about. Just disc golf content and podcasts and talk about disc golf and playing it.
Awesome. Yeah, and guys, Ben's actually
Yeah.
really funny, guys. So you should follow him anyways. He's a
You're
comedian
Yes.
gonna want to
as
follow him.
well.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, one of my bucket list items is to do a stand-up comedy set. So
I could totally see you
Yeah.
doing that. So, oh wait, yeah,
that
you've read us your jokes
The
before.
10-year one, right?
yeah, I read you the jokes and you did not laugh. I gotta
Hey, can you
I
drop
gotta
the
read-
first one that you told us at the Airbnb?
well, one of them is like
Audience,
at the top of that
let us
list.
know if this joke is funny.
Comment if it's funny.
It's not funny because I gotta work on the cadence and timing, and then this is off the cuff. But so yeah, I have a bucket list like everybody else. You know, most people's bucket lists: fall in love, get married, get a dog, become a millionaire. Mine's to go see Uncle Cracker live in concert. And then I have to make that funny somehow because it is on my bucket list.
It's
So
so funny
I
now.
also thought of
It's just so funny now because I think back to the moment of when you first read it off, and I was like, "What are you talking about right now?"
well, one of them was recently my uncle,
Oh
Tim
wait, I
Winwood.
remember this.
Tim Winwood. He just got a memorial park named after him. It was really really awesome. He's not dead. It was just in memoriam of the man he used to be. Used to be a real stand-up guy, and he just left us, so it was a memory. I don't know, something like that. That was bad, but I just thought the juxtaposition of he's still alive. Why is it a memorial park? Ooh. I also thought of something really funny where I was like, oh, I gotta add it to my comedy set as we were talking on here, but I forget.
Dang.
Where I just gotta talk about experiences of my life, I think,
Yeah.
and then we'll get like that Tim
Yeah.
one is garbage because it's not relatable to me at all. So I think I gotta scrap that one because I don't have an uncle that has a memorial park named after him who's still alive. But the Uncle Cracker thing, now that's real.
Well, whenever you end up doing stand up, we'll be in the audience.
We will.
Dude,
We
so
will.
I've been calling it my I told you guys this, my 10-year, my decade stand-up set. I'm giving myself a decade to craft the most insane thing, and then I'm gonna have an event, ticketed event, and it's just gonna be one night only, and invite everyone. Like I've been working on this for a decade, and it's got to slap.
Yeah.
And I'm so
Yeah.
mad I forgot what I was going to write about.
Maybe when you
man.
rewatch this video, you'll remember it.
Yeah, I think it was like something in Vegas or I don't know.
Yeah.
Anywho.
All right, thank you everybody for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to our channel and go check out all of Ben's socials. And don't forget to leave a like. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.